What up, dude, bro? Spider-Man Miller. Today, I have the Gameface Trion, a very hard-performing, very accurate Springer that is half-length only, a very smooth operator, and an adjustable chrono. Let's get into it. Included with the Gameface Trion is the instructions, the blaster itself, sights, spring spacers, barrel attachment, 15 dart mag, and 15 darts. External overview of the blaster. Starting up front, there is no in-strike barrel lug. This is not a official brand blaster from either Dart Zone or Nerf, but it does have this unscrewable component. This does not have any effect on your performance. It just screws on for tactical reasons and also gives you a lot of good orange on your blasters, so that, of course, this is an indication that this is just a toy. So if you want to paint this up, this is a lot more safer to run outside because of the orange tip. Up above, we do have a long Picatinny style rail, and a fix, we do have the included sights. They're pretty decent sights, and they slide on with ease, and of course, if you don't want them, you could just take them off. Now down to the priming handle. This is a kind of a vertical grip priming handle. No, not vertical grip. This is kind of a, I don't know what you would call this, AEG, somewhat. But to prime, you do that, and that enables you to fire once. The prime action itself is actually very smooth. It depends on how much power you have into it, actually. It's actually pretty smooth for the most part. However, it can get a little more rough, especially if you had more power. So one thing that is nice is this is actually attached to another Picatinny rail. So if you wanted to, you could actually put a vertical grip on there so that it kind of alleviates pressure from your hand, so that you're not using so much force to grip it. And more or less, you can just grab a vertical grip and just push it back. Back behind, we do have the magazine. And to remove the magazine, you use this little paddle right here. It's ambidextrous, full ambi, bro. That you can just take out pretty easily. You can use it this way or this way. And a cool thing is you can kind of technically use your middle finger like that, but it doesn't gravity drop pretty easily. And now to the included magazine, it is a 15-round magazine. Half of it is about navy blue to black, and then the other half is clear. But this is compatible with other mags. This is just a Dart Zone mag, and this works exactly the same. It is a little more rough when you take it out, though, just because this does have a little bit more plastic. But if you're going to run this thing with any other mags, I highly recommend Worker Talon mags. They're some of the best on the market, and they work really well with this. And now to the trigger. The trigger pull is very smooth, and this blaster does have slam fire, meaning you can hold down the trigger, and when you prime and return, it automatically fires. But this has a pretty unique trigger that is not really noticeable to like casual nerfers. It's a very clicky trigger. Casuals may not understand that, but it's actually a very nice break. It's very solid when you're priming it, and then like it's not gonna like accidentally like fire until you actually put pressure, and that power level is insane. And up above, we do actually have a safety. So when it's in the position like this, you're safe. I can pull the trigger, push that in, and I can't pull the trigger. Now down to the grip. The grip is actually a pretty comfortable grip. It is a thumbhole stock, and not everyone's for thumbhole stocks. We all remember how Coop was. But this one's actually not that bad. It's a pretty comfortable one. Your wrist can be pretty comfy in there. And this is good for an older and younger sized adult. But something that is really cool for this whole region is you can actually unscrew this whole bit and actually put on a regular grip. And what is affixed to this is an M4 buffer tube, so you can put on different style stock if you really wanted to. And now back to the stock itself. This is an adjustable stock. You push this here, and you can push it all the way in, or adjust it to your length, or you can go all out. And even in the fully extended form, it is a very comfy stock, and it is also very solid. But this is where the most unique part of this blaster comes in. You can actually uh, change your chrono results. So the way that it works, you push this in, you take this out, and you actually have access to your spring. But what this system is for, as soon as I put the spring back in, which can actually be pretty easily removed, is you have your spring spacers. Now, each spring spacer kind of holds a different amount of power. One holds a pretty good amount of power, and then two amps it up to what this blaster was advertised at 200. So the way that works is just you put these on, and you just put it back into your blaster. And that obviously will have an impact on how this works. My apologies, folks. The stock is a little picky. But now you're shooting at a completely different average, and that is a very neat system. And one thing I would recommend, which will also be in my opinion, keep good track of these, because you can actually tend to lose these. But that is the external overview of the Gameface Trion. Now I want to show you this beast shoot with one spring spacer and two spring spacer, but also a difference in darts. So let's get into it. Starting with their included darts and the included mag and no spring spacers. Slam fire. Now one spring spacer installed. Slam fire. Now max power with two spring spacers. Slam fire. Ow! Now some darts on max darts at every darts on magazine. Slam fire. So firing the Gameface Trion is a blast. This is a very hard performing blaster. It is probably the most powerful blaster I own right now, and it shows for it. Its power, its feeling, it feels awesome. It performs very well, pretty accurately too, but I had a little bit of issues with some of the darts, and I think that's just because some of them are older darts, because this barrel system is really picky, which is why I would really recommend you pick certain darts. I only chose darts on max darts just because those are kind of my go-to half-length dart right now, just because they're pretty good darts. Two things I actually forgot to go over before I give you the chrono results is, ironic enough, you can actually fire an elite dart out of this, or a full-length dart. But what I found even more funny, you could shove two down the barrel and fire it. And I can't really get this in camera, but you get an actual powerful shotgun blast. And that is so much fun. Now to the chrono results. So I kind of had to take this from Coop's archive just because I wanted to kind of demonstrate to you how the power of this thing is. So with the included darts with 0 string spacers, there's an average of 146 feet per second. Add 1 string spacer, that gets you up to 186 feet per second. 2 spring spacers gets you up all the way up to 219 feet per second. Holy crap. That is insane. And darts on max darts, like I said, they're my go-to half-length dart right now. 0 spring spacers got an average about 143 feet per second. 1 spring spacer got you up to 166 feet per second. And 2 got you all the way up to 186 feet per second, which is way, way over the elite par and is up in a huge range of where we're now having a range of a 150 to 200 FPS game. So that is insane. That is all the objective information I can provide in this blaster, not in my personal opinion. Overall, this is a very fun blaster. Like, I don't really have that many complaints with it. It is so smooth. I love the feel of it, and you're getting a very rock solid blaster with very great performance. And of course, the one thing I forgot to allude on, a flared magwell. The flared magwells are kind of not really noticed by casuals, but those are actually really good at doing like reloads can get to the point where you don't even have to look at the blaster to get a smooth reload. And it really just helps for like if you're trying to be like fast, because like when you think about it, you use stuff like the adapter, you're gonna have a pretty sloppy reload because you're trying to realign it. This is pretty smooth and very fun. The only complaint I really can have is just kind of one that Coop did, and this is not even one for me that I'm really mad about. I kind of wish they had storage for the screen spacers, just because there's not really a place you could store them, and Coop actually lost his. I actually found a way that you could hold on to them, is you put them in the stock, like at the bottom, and that does work. However, they rattle around like crazy, so that can drive a lot of people crazy. So it would have been nice to see a spacer storage on this, but overall, like I said, I don't really have any complaints. Like, this is a very solid blaster for the price that is at, and also just the amount of power that it shoots. No complaints, really. But now to the question, to buy or not to buy. First of all, be logistic. Think about the performance range that you're shooting at. If your friends are all shooting about 70 FPS and you just come in with this and just blow 146 shot, you're going to ruin their day and they're not going to want to play with you ever again. But for the 150 to 200 FPS range, definitely consider this blaster. It's a very solid one. There is one blaster that does beat it. That's the Worker Harrier. I don't have a Harrier yet. I'm fingers crossed I can get one, but that is really the only blaster that can compare to this. But if you're looking for a blaster, like I said, that is in the 150 to 200 FPS range, I highly recommend this one. It is a very solid package. You are getting a lot of power for a really good price and some pretty good attachments. But I would highly recommend either stock up on a few of these magazines, or like I said, go buy Talon mags. They're some of the greatest mags on the market. Hey, it should have that looking. So I'd really recommend stock up on those before you purchase one. Or like I said, you can purchase their own magazine and their darts through the Gameface website or on Amazon. And hopefully I laid out all the objective information for you to make an educated purchase decision. If you want to buy one, I can put a purchase link in the description box below. That'll lead you to Amazon or the Gameface website. But thanks so much for watching my video. Much love, blast on, and better stay tactical.